Hi, my name is Amanda Hestolin, and today I'm going to teach you how to do an FBA on a double-darted bodice front. FBA stands for full bust adjustment. It's what you have to do on a pattern if you're fitting somebody who has larger than a B-cup bodice. All patterns are drafted for a B-cup, and if you have larger than a B-cup, you need extra circumference just around the bust area, usually not everywhere else. So an FBA adds only circumference around the bust area of a bodice. There are a couple things that you need to do an FBA properly. You need a traced copy of your bodice front, along with both darts and the apex marked. This is a smaller, probably 1/4 size version. I'm just working on so you can see it easier. You need some tape, you need some pattern weights, you need some pens and pencils. Colors usually are pretty helpful. You need some paper of a similar weight. A different color is helpful the first time that you do this. A ruler, a grid ruler is even better, and a pair of scissors. Alright, so step one on an FBA is to make sure, or is to start by drawing a line perpendicular to center front through the waist dart to the apex. Then you need to draw a line through the center of the bust dart to the apex. And you need to draw a line from the apex to about 1/3 of the way up the arm's eye. And the last line you need to draw needs to be perpendicular to center front, about 2 inches up. It doesn't really matter, just a little up from the bottom. So the new red lines are the lines that you have to draw to do an FBA. That's where we're going to slash and spread. This next step is to cut up through that line you just drew, hit the apex, turn the apex, and cut up to but not through the arm's eye. The idea is to have a little hinge there. You also need to cut up through the bust dart towards the apex, but not through. You need to have a little hinge there. Now, this whole process assumes that you have already measured how much more additional circumference that you need. Let's say, for example, we need 1 inch. Well, let's do a 1/2 inch. That'll be easier. So take your bodice front, put it on your contrasting paper, and spread it apart. You can see now that you've hinged it, it spreads apart pretty nicely. It helps if you use pattern weights to secure the right front. Then I'm going to spread, did we say 1/2 inch? Let's do 1 inch. I'm going to spread this apart 1 inch. Notice that when I spread center front apart 1 inch to add more circumference, it also opens up this dart. An FBA will deepen the bust dart. It helps if you put that there. Now notice I'm using my pattern weights to hold down what I've opened up. Now the only thing left to do for an FBA is to true up the hem. I do that by cutting through that last line. It helps if you use your ruler to keep that little piece perpendicular. And pulling this piece down, so that the bottom hem edges now true up. And if you notice, you can just eyeball that if you want. It's okay to eyeball that. Last step in doing an FBA is to tape all your cut pieces down where they are on the contrasting paper. It's okay to use a lot of tape. Tape is part of flat pattern adjustment. Especially make sure you tape your hinges, those little hinges that you cut, because they get easily torn. Usually I tape right through them like I just did there. Once all your new pieces are taped down, you can take your weights off, cut around your new bodice front. Don't cut anything here, just cut that off. At the bust dart, just cut that off. And then in order to true up the dart extension so you don't have a big giant hole, just fold the dart as if to sew and trim off that new extension. Now what you have is a new bodice front piece that has 1 inch extra in circumference added around the bust. This FBA also increases the length of your pattern, which you need to accommodate for the extra circumference. When you think about you need extra length to also go over that bust. And it deepens the bust dart. And it also widens the waist dart. You can leave this waist dart widened. You can not sew it as deep. That's your choice depending on the look you want. And that's how to do an FBA.